here to put the best in each of our residents. And it's like a holistic approach, but person-centered.
We make a difference, we bring joy, and we add spark.
It's about advocating for others. It's such a privilege and an honor.
What you can do for them, being able to communicate. It's about making sure that people feel valued.
Creating meaningful connections and enhancing quality of life.
Our magic lies in connecting with others and letting them know they're never too late.
We are called to understand.
We spread aroha, we spread love.
We see the best in people.
We make dreams happen.
We are the ambassadors of passion and purpose.
We are hard workers.
We are meaning makers.
Kia ora! Good evening everyone, and once again, happy hump day, happy Wednesday, and welcome now my once again to another beautiful session for tonight, another beautiful Korero discussion about anything under the sun and anything about recreational therapy in Aotearoa and the world. Tonight, we have a very special guest that will be joining us in our discussion tonight. Kia ora, Nika. How are you? How was your day? And how are you settling at the moment there in your own space?
Kia ora. Good to be here. How was my day? Very wet, but I think that's the country's feeling at the moment. Yeah, did a bit of cleaning, bit of work. Haven't had dinner yet, so looking forward to a meal after this. Probably going to be curry because all the smells of Diwali has made me want Indian food.
On that note, happy Diwali to our whanau that is celebrating Diwali, and to everyone, happy Diwali to you and your family. May the light of the festivity bring the shine to enjoy to your lives as well. Nika, if there is one highlight of the day for you today, what is that? I'll begin with mine. I think mine started with a very hard and very horrible traffic to an appointment very early, because my day started at 8 a.m. I mean, my first appointment was at 8 a.m. and it's like 40 minutes drive from my house. And speaking of being wet, in the road in my journey, there were 2 car crashes that made my supposed to be 40 minutes journey into an hour and a half. So I was very late, and I was I was very stressed. But I think the highlight of the day founded there when I decided, not to let that dictate what my day would be looking like. So I changed that, and I decided to not let that as my highlight of the day, and turned around my day 180 degrees and brought my own sunshine. Can you still hear me, Nika?
Yes, I can. I'm not sure what's happened with my camera. Might be the weather interfering with things, but hang on, I'll try and turn it off and on again.
Yes,
you DT'd yourself, turned a bad day into something positive.
That's
I'm just trying to do the same thing. I've covered myself in sunflowers, and I'm wearing yellow. Speaking of sunflowers, I've got mine growing from the kits that were sent out in DT week, and they're starting. They're about 10 centimeters off the dirt now. I'm very excited.
Oh, wow. That's very exciting and very interesting that, we're going to be seeing lots of sunflower posts and lots of sunflower shares, coming soon. Yeah, hopefully you'll be able to fix the technical glitch. And we actually have an earlier technical glitch, as well. But, as we always say in our practice, the show must go on, and we just bring our own attention. Yeah. Do you want to go out probably and then just come back?
Yeah, sure.
I don't know. Yeah,
we'll try that. We'll try that.
Yeah. So while We are waiting for Nika to come back in and fix that technical difficulties. If you are joining us live tonight for this beautiful discussion about a wonderful topic, which is in a nutshell about culture, right? And what that means to us and what that means to our practice. If you're joining us live tonight, whether you have had dinner or having dinner, preparing dinner, please drop in a comment on the comment section so that we can feel your presence and we will feel that the world is getting smaller because of our connection. So first up, we are saying greetings to Annalise Stain, who always join our Korero live. Thank you so much, Annalise. How are you there tonight? I hope you're keeping warm. Oh wow, I saw a video about the wind in Wellington yesterday where someone was blown off the street. That was scary, but yeah, that was just speaking of the character of Wellington, windy Wellington. So we hope that you're keeping warm there and you're keeping positive in our windy Wellington. Nice. Um, um I had a friend that actually was sitting on the airplane, the plane for quite some time yesterday because of the wind in Wellington as well. Nika is back!
Back.
Yay!
And you can see me?
Yes, we can see you in your beautiful room there at the back.
It's
So,
the white room, yes.
yeah. So thank you so much, and well done for fixing that, Nika. Let's get cracking. So once again, guys, if you are joining us tonight for this very important Korero or conversation, please drop in your comments, drop in your thoughts, and drop in anything, and we will just Korero. We will just have a good conversation. So tonight's conversation will hit close to our hearts and close to our home because we will be talking about culture, but not in the way where most people think of it, right? So when we think of culture, we always have that stereotype or idea already what that is about only, but that is not actually just about ethnicity and just about a particular thing. It's everything that comprises us. And this was highlighted last conference again when we had a cultural assessment training discussion where someone shared that they once asked a family member about the culture and the cultural preferences of their client, their residents. And the amazing and the astounding answer of the family was that they don't have a culture. And they said that we're just normal New Zealanders. We don't have any culture. And that really stayed with us as someone, I mean, for me personally, someone whom I immigrated to Aotearoa 14 years ago, I know what it is like to feel different. But I also know that culture isn't just about being from somewhere else. It's about who you are. It's about what you believe in. And I believe that every single one of us has a culture.
I absolutely agree. Though I may not look it, I whakapapa to, te ao Māori. So I really care about culture. But I also see how narrow definition and restrictive definitions can be. I was guilty of thinking that, New Zealand doesn't really have a culture. We just sort of, it's not deeply rooted in traditions, but often people restrict culture to just mean ethnicity or language. But it's actually so much more than that. It shapes everything. It's how we live, it's how we spend our time, it's the music that we love, it's how we relax, it's what roles we held in our working life, what routines bring us comfort. So it's not just your blood, it's who you are. So culture is our whole story, and every resident, every client in our care has a culture.
Absolutely. Yeah. And I love that how you said story, Nika, and that our story is alive and is ever changing, right? So there is not one thing that you can really pinpoint that's you, because maybe that's you for now and it will change. Like I can, on top of my head, I would really say that before, like a lifetime ago, that feels like anyway, I was a runner. I run every day, and I was prepare I mean I train for, triathlons and marathons. But now that's nowhere near what keeps me alive. So culture is changing as well, so your
Yeah,
preferences
yeah.
and your story changes as well, right?
Definitely.
So I'd like to go back, Nika, to that conversation when a staff asked a family
Mm,
member, and the member said, the question was, do you have any cultural preferences for your dad's care? And their
mm,
answer was, no, we don't have a culture. We're just normal New Zealanders. And this isn't said out of disrespect. This was not disrespectful at all. It
mm.
it was a genuine lack of understanding of what the question really was. It was
Yeah.
just a misunderstanding that families think we're asking automatically about ethnicity and traditional customs, cultural customs, like what we are celebrating this week, Diwali, right?
Mm,
Or Matariki. And if they don't see themselves the way that, usually you fit yourself in a traditional, cultural ethnic significant celebration, they would just
mm.
say, no, we don't have any. So I think
Yeah,
it's just really a
yeah.
misunderstanding.
I agree. Yeah, and that sort of response of, oh no, I don't have a culture, it actually it closes a lot of opportunity for what would be meaningful engagement. So to take an example, Mr. Smith might be Pākehā, born in Aotearoa, but he was a mechanic. That was his life history. So while he was working as a mechanic, it was probably at the time very male dominated. There was radio jingles on. He had porridge every morning for 60 years. That's his culture. That's become his routine, and it's become his normal. So even though he's Pākehā, if Mr. Smith, to use that example again, was my client, I'd want to know, oh, he really enjoys having porridge. And when we do music
Mm.
appreciation with him, what was on the radio when he would have been working, and that'll be nostalgic for him, and that'll be good for his reminiscing and for his comfort, feel like home. So whatever someone's normal is their culture, and it's our job to actually get to know them and discover that.
Oh, that's beautiful. Yeah, when you put it like that it's their normal. That's beautiful. And I just like to highlight a conversation we had, I think last week, during this Korero live session as well, when we were talking about the impermeability, or the non-constantness of human beings,
Mm.
that it's really our job to discover what is true right now. Because I remember that the assessment was, that resident was a horse jockey. And when they found out that he was a horse jockey, everyone just assumed that he loves horses. So they were making horse sounds. I don't know if you remember that, Nika, because I can remember that you commenting on that
Yeah,
story as well. Yeah,
yeah, that cracked me
printing
up.
horse
Yeah.
photos and all that, only to find out that actually Mr. Smith, for example, who used to be a horse jockey, now hates horses
Mhm.
because of a very bad traumatic experience. So I think, yeah, the normal, the now, and the truth right now is our job to discover it. So
Definitely.
before we go to our next topic, Nika, about the shift from cultural to life preferences focus, let's go to our comment section and say a shout out to a lot of people who are joining us tonight, starting with Annalise saying that the wind in Wellington is really so bad. We hope, Annalise, that you guys are taking care there.
Stay safe.
Shanjana Rohit from Stratford, Taranaki. Hello, hello. We hope that it's not too cold. Shauna Anderson is saying, Kia ora, AJ and Nika from Dargaville. Good to see you. Hi, Shauna. And Anna Gossen said, keep on running. I think that's for me.
I
Anna, my mind is running. So
am.
that's the run that I am doing right now. Sure. So let's talk about shift from
Mm.
cultural to life preferences. Nika, what are your thoughts on that?
How do we shift it? Well, we maybe if we don't get so hung up on the word culture, instead of just asking, what are your cultural needs? We can try and move conversations and ask questions that are more, what brings you joy? What do you love? What have you loved to do throughout your life? What food brings back good memories? I know for me, anytime I smell watercress cooking, I'm back home and my mother's cooking. I can see her in her white dressing gown that she wore all the time whenever she was cooking with watercress. And it makes me happy. And, we want, those are the memories we want to be bringing back in people. What roles in their life gave them pride. I remember I had a client, he had quite severe dementia, and all of his life he was a building inspector. So he spent his whole life his whole care for the 3 years that I worked with him, just walking around tapping light bulbs and flicking switches and walking. So we gave him a clipboard, and he was able to go around and make He made him so happy because he felt like he was doing that role and feeling busy and important. So yeah, all of these questions, we don't want to just tick off a box and say we have their culture. We want to open up their story. We want to identify who they are, their mana, and find ways to connect.
Beautifully presented, Nika, and how you said that, shifting these questions, these are stories that honor them, and shifting these questions to actually a question that they would easily understand would not just be helpful for our residents, but also our families and our staff. So I think that it's very important for us to start these conversation as diversional recreational therapy leaders, breaks my heart sometimes when I do audits and then I look at the cultural assessment of a person, a resident, and the staff would write no culture, right? So it's so not true, but it's also sometimes just a misunderstanding and a lack of awareness for our staff. So if we have this conversation that culture actually is everything, and if we can support it with these beautiful, very simple question, it affirms that their family, their loved ones, our clients isn't just a diagnosis. They're not just room numbers, but a person with history, purpose, preference, and a story that matters.
Absolutely.
Right? I remember one resident who said nothing for weeks. Then one day, during a woodworking session, he just lit up. Turns out he'd been a furniture maker for 40 years. So just like your story, Nika, that they had a purpose. They felt honored because their preferences and their story was appreciated and was acknowledged. And that is culture.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
So, but I think the most important question that we have to ask ourselves now is how do we integrate it in the broader view of culture into our assessment and our programs? Because we can talk all we want. If it's not on a practical, applicable strategy, then I think it's just lip service. So what do you think, Nika?
Well, we just need a starting point, just to start the conversation, start shifting the mindset, to use that word shifting. So simple word changes that can help with changing the mindset. If we replace the phrase, do you have any cultural needs, to something more like, tell me about what matters to you day to day. And if I'm a resident, I may also think, oh, you're asking just about my cultural needs. The staff think, oh, we just need your cultural needs. And I'm not going to share with you what's important to me day to day, because it doesn't really trigger that discussion. So don't ask about, do you have cultural needs? Tell me what matters to you. Tell me about your beliefs. And involve the family in the storytelling. They've been there for the person's journey. They know things that maybe the person's even forgotten, or they feel a bit quirky to admit it. I know that I would definitely have a few of those. I wouldn't want to admit that I love Taylor Swift, for instance. And we're not just ticking boxes. Using visual tools as well, really helpful. Memory boxes. There's so many sensory resources and reminiscing tools that we can use, and observe them. The whole environment can be a visual tool for us. If we're observing what they're doing, they take a special interest in the gardens or in a particular doll or a show, and and validate their expressions of culture, whether it's them attending a church service, attending a mass, or they want Weet-Bix with sugar every morning. Enjoy that's part of their culture. That's part of who they are.
Absolutely. I cannot agree with you more. And, let's stop treating culture as an extra. It's not an
Yes.
icing to the cake. It is actually the whole cake. It's the base of our practice. If we don't, assess culture properly, we cannot connect correctly, right? And as residents, we won't connect with us deeply, and our residents won't connect with us deeply if their identity and their history and their story is ignored. So understanding someone's culture makes our mahi more person focused, person centered, person led, and more effective and more human. Not just a number, not just a name, a room number, but actually, an identity and an individual.
Yes. Yeah. And it is so important that people feel that way. Yeah. I know I want that.
Before we proceed, we have Orquídea joining us tonight. Hi, Orquídea. Happy birthday again. It's her month-long birthday because she loves celebrating her birthday. Actually, has been 3 months already because we started celebrating last August, Orquídea.
So does that mean you have to count a year each day of the month? So you're aging.
She's 80 years old now.
Yeah.
She said, I absolutely love your work, guys. Oh, kapay. Yeah. So Nika, I'll have to say this, that our next topic, I think this is something that many of our whānau, our members that are immigrants and that are not really familiar, this is a scary topic for them, really touching on how to honor and how to hat tip and be respectful with the Te Ao Maori, with the culture of the land. So your thoughts on that?
Yes, no, I do understand the sort of a little bit nervy about it. So speaking from a place, I am tangata whenua. I want to remind everyone, including myself, cultural safety means that we truly honour Te Tiriti or Waitangi, the treaty, in our practice. Now, that doesn't mean you have to memorise this big, long, ancient document. That's not what it means. It's about embracing differences. It's about being open, having cultural humility, and embedding Māori values into our daily care, not just during Māori Language Week, not just to make the calendar look culturally sound, but actually practicing it so that, and Māori values are actually just really relational based and human supporting values, such as building whanaungatanga, building connections. It's not just the Māori culture that believes that, but being connected to other people and having good relationships is a part of having healthy psychology and a healthy lifestyle. Using te reo Māori, now obviously that is a little bit more specific to Māori. It's a language that was illegal for a time, and we really want to make a stand to show we embrace that this is a language of New Zealand. It's a legal. It's one of the 3 recognized national languages here. Yeah,
and it doesn't even have to be the full pepeha right away, Nika. Right? Even just starting with Kiora and with Morena.
Yeah, just start with kia ora. You can add a day to your vocabulary every week. And don't worry if you're pronouncing it wrong. Give it a try. We love to hear it, people trying. That shows how far the government and New Zealand has come from where things were. People wanting to learn Māori. That's fantastic. And I know sometimes rolling the R's can feel a little bit difficult, but it gets easier. It definitely does. Another thing we can do to embed those Māori values, respecting karakia, respecting tikanga. Even if it's not something you personally believe, that's absolutely fine, but we can respect the other person's beliefs. We can respect that they want, if you're visiting in their room, don't lean on the tables with your bottom, because that's that's bad practice for them. We just want to be aware of what, if we're entering into their world, we want to fully appreciate what that world actually is. Otherwise, we're chopping and choosing which parts of this person we're accepting. And that's not good practice, particularly for health professionals, but also for people.
Generally.
And I think the most important thing is just creating space for ako, for learning. Just be willing to learn about it. Cultural humility is just the best quality you can have. You don't have to know everything about every culture or every variation. Just be willing to learn about it, and you're well on your way to culturally safe practice.
Amazing. And I think that's a very, very safe and a very, very nice invitation, especially for us, that are not born here or have migrated here. I can speak to that. And that's why it's beautiful that Nika was able to speak with that, because she had whakapapas to Te Ao Maori. Me, I have a lived experience of migration, of immigration, of leaving my home comfort zone and traveling here, and having that guilt or fear of doing it wrong, to learn the new culture and to respect the culture of the land. But it's about, as Nika has said, being open, being respectful, and willing to learn. And this can be part of our culture too, now that we have embraced the culture. And as Orquídea would always say she is Mexikiwi, that's her new culture now. And we would call ourselves Pinoy, the Filipinos, so we can now be Kiwi noise, right? So the Kiwi Pinoy, or Peewees. Whatever floats your boat, right? So beautiful. Nika, look at this. Annalise is saying that, AJ, I'm putting a list of dates together for New Zealand cultural celebration. Example, gumboot throw-in and taihape. Nothing wrong with international days for pets, etc., which we also celebrate, but working alongside residents to what is celebrated in their hometown as well is very important. And Annalise is happy to share it with us once it's done. Yes, please.
Go, Annalise.
Yeah.
Fly the flag.
And we'll be happy to share it with everyone. And I think that that's going to be very useful and very lovely. So thank you so much for that, Annalise. Wow, what a beautiful reflection that we had, Nika. What a beautiful Korero that we have. Oh, Sue Moxon is here. Kia ora, everyone. Sue is saying, we love you, Kiwis. The Pinoy Kiwis.
I think you've started a new trend, Kiwis.
Yeah. So before we go to our final reflection, Nika, and final takeaway for tonight, I think that we can talk on and on and on about culture, and I think that understanding it and being not intimidated with learning about culture and learning about new things. Don't be afraid. Don't let the fear of doing it wrong keep you from actually playing the game. And I think that's very important. But I always say that we should always begin with ourselves, right? So analyze who you are and what your culture is as well, and be confident when somebody asks you, what is your culture and who are you? You're able to say that, just like Nika said, she loves Taylor Swift, and that's a big part of her culture. But that's important for us to be self-aware as well of what we are. Otherwise, if we just keep on saying that, culture is important, but actually we actually didn't really investigate and assess ourselves as well, what is important to us right now. So let's do that, Nika, before we go for our final takeaway. What is your culture actually?
My culture
right now.
Yes, of course, right now, because it definitely has changed and will continue to change. My culture is family and lots of food, and if culture was based only on food, I wouldn't be Kiwi. I would be all flavors of Asian. But my culture is probably, I could put it down to faith, family, and food. The trifecta of words.
The 3 F's. Yeah. Amazing. And I think mine would always be, and I always say this because I'm brand new to parenting. So it's being a father at the moment, learning about the joys and the grief of being a dad and the journey. That's a big part of my culture right now.
Yeah.
Ethnicity is a big part, I really, especially as a migrant, but learning a new culture is a big part for me as well, and connecting to the new side of the new land that I am considering a new home is my culture.
And you do it
Wow, that was
amazingly.
beautiful.
Like your
Oh,
Maori
thank
is
you.
really good.
We try. Yeah, so final reflections and takeaways. Nika, you go first.
All right. Let's set a goal. We'll set a goal as a small change because it is a big topic, but let's just replace the question, do you have culture, with the belief and the knowledge that everyone has culture. We just need to find out what that is.
Amazing. Very simple, yet very, very powerful. And I believe if I just tautoko to that, support that, when we understand that and when we move our direction from doing activities for people to doing activities with our people, the groundedness and the foundation is who they are and who they actually believe in, who they actually, what their actual story is that brought them here. Right now. Kia ora. Nika, if there's one thing that you wanted to say to all of our diversional recreational therapists, right now this week, Diwali is a festival of lights. Yeah, what do you want to say?
Yeah, well, keeping in theme with that, if we're trying to develop our cultural understanding, try and ask someone what they have done to acknowledge Diwali. I know I've been asking a lot of people who are Indian, and they've been telling me things that it's their own family's take on it. It's their personal one. Some of them don't acknowledge it at all, and it's been so helpful for me to learn that. So. Final thing, embrace who you are, get to know who other people are, their culture, and as a challenge, write down 3 things that are most important to you that you want other people to recognize about you, so that you get into that thought of, I want to know what's important to other people.
Amazing. And I would definitely think about that, Nika, and I want mine to be like a trifecta as well of, probably not F because I don't want to copy yours, but that was wonderful. Family, food, and faith. Amazing. That was really, really good. And I think mine would be just in this world right now, diversional recreational therapists, all our fanos out there, in this world where we are now, I mean, today's time, we are really divided and we are really trying to be torn apart, especially with ethnicity, with culture, and with every other disagreements in the world. As diversional recreational therapists, I think we have an influence to change this direction if we really just believe that culture is not just what keeps us different, but actually what connects us. Because if we know that, if we understand that our culture, ethnicity is just one part of that culture, everything else, we really see that we are all just one race, and that's human race. Kapay.
Amen.
So ngamihi nui everyone for joining us tonight. We have some more commenters here. Kat from Stratford. Hello there. How are you, Kat? Andrea Walker, I think their team Taranaki is well represented here tonight. Kia ora, team. Yeah, so our culture is food. Shauna Anderson from Dargaville says, thank you guys. Great Korero. It has given me a new way to do my cultural assessment from today. Oh, that's amazing. And if that is, there's only one person that, would have a new way, a new perspective. That's a goal met, Nika. So well done. Nice. So culture isn't just something only some of us have. It what makes us human. So let's keep weaving into our practice with curiosity, courage, and care. As a Pakatauki would say, he aha te mea nui o te ao, he tangata, he tangata, he tangata. What is the most important thing in this world? It is people, it is people. So thank you very much. Thank you so much, Nika, for
Thank
that
you, AJ.
wonderful
Had a good time.
discussion. Yeah. Happy Wednesday, everyone. Have a great rest of
Bye.
the week.
Stay dry.
Good night. Enjoy your dinner. Stay safe. Bye, everyone.